Hello there. Welcome to the weekly Williams Shave. This week we'll be using my Gillette Ball-In Tech. This is a 57 Ball-In Tech. And I've got it loaded with a Gillette 7 o'clock yellow. Now this particular blade, excuse me, I got a head cold, chest cold, that kind of deal. This particular blade has 6 shaves on it. This will be shave number 7 if it makes it through. Now I don't normally push DE blades, but I'm testing. And what I'm doing is I believe that when we first start shaving, wet shaving, traditional wet shaving, we develop certain ideas about certain things, like how long we can use a blade, or how, whether or not we like a certain soap, or all kinds of things, whether we can lather a particular type of soap, or just about anything when we're first starting. And I think a lot of times we don't go back and look and see if anything has been changed. And I've been traditional wet shaving with a double edge or a single edge or an injector or a straight razor or for almost a year. And I'm just trying to go back and see, what might have changed with improved technique, things like that. So I'm pushing every blade brand that I have ever used to see, what's my limit on that blade? Have I improved enough? Have I improved enough to make a difference in things like that? It's a personal kind of thing. I don't recommend that you push DE blades. That's not what the point is. The point is just, for me, I'm testing some preconceived notions that I've had from when I first started wet shaving traditionally to see what the difference is. I think that's important because I think we forget sometimes that as our technique improves and as we learn more, I think we ought to go back and revisit some things just to see. And so we're using modern Williams, again, Williams, weekly Williams shave. And I'm using my Semogue 1438. So let's get moving on that. But that's kind of the, I just want to know. And this is going to be a kind of a long kind of thing. Because I'm going to go through every kind of blade that I've ever used. And I'm going to see what's the limit. Do I even feel the same way about certain blades? Like, take for example a Derby. Okay, eventually I'll be trying the Derby again, or the Dorco ST300s, and eventually I'll be trying them and trying to push them and see, okay, is there a difference between what I used to think of them and what I used to get out of them compared to now? And my hands are, this soap is really slick, and my hands are really slick, and I'm dropping things, but I can't even hold the brush. That's how slick this Williams is. People, let me rinse my hands. People talk all the time about Williams, and most of the time It's a negative kind of thing, and you know, in my experience with it, it doesn't deserve a lot of what people hit it with. A lot of it is just that people don't want to take the time to learn the soap. And you know what? That's fine. If that's the reason that you don't like Williams, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that can get a good lather and a good shave from Williams Mug Soap. So, but the thing with Williams is it's, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's an old school type of soap. And you got to treat it like old school soap. You got to smack it around to get it to do what you want it to do. And you know what? I don't have a bit of a problem doing that, because to me anyway, it's not that big of a deal. But it is, for some reason today, extremely slick. Okay, I'm kind of starting to see, I think, a little bit of actual genuine dulling with this blade, and to be quite honest, that's been a really good blade for the last 6 shaves. So I know that blade will give me 6 really nice shaves without one single lick of problem. I want to beat this Williams just a little bit more. There's some smaller bubbles in it that I want to get rid of. It's not causing me a problem, but there's just a certain way that I like my lather, and so I want to smack it around a little bit more and get it to do, I love that, get it to be where it is that I prefer it to be. And if you look at my chin and stuff, I generally prefer a much thinner lather. I like a greater ratio of water to my ladder. Because it does, in my experience, tend to bring out any kind of inherent slickness that's in the soap. And if I had to choose a characteristic, one characteristic of soap that I wanted more than anything else, it would be slickness. But that's just a personal thing. Some guys are more interested in a nice fat cushion on their lather. There's nothing wrong with that either. But me, I'm looking for that slickness. I guess because I use a straight half the time, and I really find that with a straight, the slicker the lather is, the less I cut myself and nick myself. And as a matter of fact, there are some creams that I have that don't get slick enough to use with a straight. But that's a personal kind of thing. What you like. Alright, I can tell you right now, this blade is close to done. I actually think I could probably get one more shave out of it if I wanted to. And I may try it just to see what it's like. But on this south to north pass, especially over the chin, and that's my tell for a blade. When you come up over the chin, whether it's a straight razor or a single edge, double edge, or what, when I come up over the chin and the blade tends to try to grab, or it feels like it's going to dig in, a lot of guys say, well, it's digging in because it's sharp. Well, in my experience, the only time that a sharp blade digs in is when your technique is wrong. If your technique is right, a sharp blade glides easily over the skin, assuming you have good soap. It cuts the hairs cleanly, and actually cuts the hairs cleanly and efficiently, and it's only to me anyway, it's only when the blade is not at its peak of sharpness that it grabs on that chin area. So Just a bit of touch up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call 7 max on that blade. And I'll keep a log and just see what the differences are. And see, yeah, that's a pretty good shave. But it's not as close right in here. Watch me. Yeah, I know. A second touch up. But I'm going to do it. And that's the deal. I mean, that's one of the things people say, well, I can get a lot more shaves out of that blade. Well, yeah, you might. But look, I touched up twice on that blade because it wasn't quite sharp enough with 3 passes and a touch up to get this edge here, this edge of my jaw, my chin, whatever you want to call it, the corners of my mouth. Now they're BBS, if you want to call it that. I don't really use those. You can't feel anything. They're perfect. But, I had to make 2 touch-up passes to get that. So I'm going to call 7 a max on that blade and actually probably back down 1 to 6. And I'm confident that I can use a 7 o'clock yellow because it's been in several different razors in that time. And then pretty much any razor that I own and get 6 really good quality shaves out of it. And so that's part of the process that I'm going through is I'm going to finish off with Pinaud Clubman. And I'm not doing it because I'm looking to get longevity out of the blades and save money or anything like that. I'm just trying to see, because I believe people say all the time, what's the most important thing in a shave? Is it prep? Is it technique? Or is it the blade? Is it the razor? I'm in the technique camp. I believe that technique will get you out of all kinds of situations. A poor blade, a poor razor, a poor soap. Even if your technique is good enough, you can get a good shave. You might not get the most perfect shave, but you can get a good shave. And look, I mean, I've gone 7 shaves with that blade. I don't have a nick. I don't have a cut. I don't have a weeper. I don't have anything like that from that blade. I believe that that's technique. That got me through. And I'm going to be testing that with all of the blades in my possession. It's going to take quite a while to do that. But that's the goal, is to test and see and understand, what's changed. So God bless you. Thanks for joining me on the Williams Shave. And I'll see you again real soon. Later.